Kenny here with Gardening Simplified. Today I'm going to show you what's going on with the fig orchard, our propagated fig trees. We'll look at the elderberries and we'll look at the roselle hibiscus to see what's happening. I'm down here at the fig orchard and I don't want you to think, I figured I didn't want to just take a picture after I'd finished mowing, so you knew a lot of times we get carried away. But you can see, do you see any fig trees? No, there's some in there, but this, I haven't got back down here. I mowed real early in the year and hadn't been back down here, and this is what's happened. And of course my elderberries are down here. They've been blooming. They're starting to set fruit. They're doing pretty good even amongst the weeds, and we're gonna get in here and mow these down, and then we're going to get our drip system set up that we had to take up when we were composting earlier in the year, and we'll see how things goes. But we're definitely going to give this Kubota a workout today, cutting this grass and getting things smoothed up. Okay, it's a few days later. Now we can actually go in here and we can see where we don't have any fig trees and where we do have some. Now we thought we had lost 24, but when we get down in here and once we get everything cleaned away, we did find that we had a few extra ones alive. So now the chore is going to be come in here and replace these ones that have died. Now this first one here was unknown, so we won't have to replace it, but we've got Texas everbearing that's didn't come back. We have another one right here that didn't come back. Now we did find some that haven't leafed out yet, and it was probably because they were shaded from the weeds and stuff. But anyway, we're going to go through here and we're going to start trying to fix this up. And my roselle is looking a whole lot happier since the weeds are out of there. Okay, it's getting to be like a jungle in here. All these fig trees, they're getting mighty big and getting situations like this Chicago Hardy it is definitely latched to the ground, so it's going to have to break the roots loose to move it. Okay, it's June 22nd. We finally got the last of the fig trees put out. Where in our fig orchard, we have some extras here. These here will go to the farmer's market. I have a few more that I might start another row because I've got a couple of green Issacas. And now these with the white tags, these were the last year's trees, some that looked like they wasn't coming back, but when we dug them up, you could see the little sprouts. This one hadn't got colored in leaves yet, but the others, I left them kind of high, and they're starting to put on little bitty leaves here. So these are some Brunswick or Magnolia, if you want to call them that, but Brunswick's actually the name. And they were real slow to come back, so I said I'll put them in a 2-gallon pot. I'll give them some time and see, and then I'll find them another place. And I have a few other trees here that I might put out, but let's go down and look at what we got down in the orchard area. Now this is one of the Texas everbearing that's come back. You can see I still didn't cut the old dead part out, but I got so many sprouts coming up from the roots this year. Now it's starting to put on its figs here. You can see the little figlets coming on there. Now the other one that was right there, it never did come back. It's basically it's toast, but this one is starting to put on figs. I watered it yesterday, the first time I actually watered it, but it won't be long. This one will have figs. Now the Cadota that was here, it didn't come back, so that one's gone. Now both of these brown turkeys, and they didn't have figs set on them last year, so they're setting figs this year, and they're both doing a lot better. They're doing really good, but we have little figs setting on this one. So let's continue on down. Okay, we're down here at the fig orchard, and this is row number 1. And all of the yellow tags are actually the ones that's been put out this year. The others were last year, and they survived. These ones that I replaced didn't. Now this row was the youngest out of them all, so they were propagated latest. And so we went and come back and took care of it. But while we're going down in through here, we'll look. Now this here's the LSU Gold. And this was propagated in November. You can see it's got its little fig coming on right there. So we'll be sampling that this year. Now, a lot of these, I don't know how well they'll do as far as for the first year. Now this here, this is a Marcellus Black VS, and you can see it's starting to set figs. Now these would have been a lot better shape if I'd have come down here and cleared them out and done like I needed to. My Brooklyn White, you can see it's starting to get ready, and looks like I got little ants wanting to act up on here, which that's not going to be a good sign. Now this one here is my Desert King, and it is really it's coming back, but it's really slow. And we have this Chicago Hardy here, and then an Olympian. Now this Olympian, it kind of grew sideways. Now it's starting to put out some bumps there. It looks like double bumps. It's going to start putting on some figs there. Now this row, normally when I do my garden update, I don't come down here and do this row. Now this is Roselle Hibiscus. I had a row down here last year, and just as it started blooming, before I could harvest, we had a freeze come in and killed all the blooms, so I wasn't able to even harvest it. This crop was put in earlier, so it should be ready. Now we'll come over here. These are a lot of other that's been replaced, and they're all, this is brown turkey, and you can see it's got its little fig starting on there. I tried to lump some of these together, but I had to fill in areas, so some of them are separated out. Now this Cadota here, it's definitely doing good. It's got a few figs coming on it. And this Peter's Honey, you can see it's got a couple of larger ones on the bottom. They're not big as Peter's Honey normally would be, but they're just starting out. And this Peter's Honey here, it just isn't showing anything yet. I'm just glad to have that as a new variety. Now we've got a little fig coming on there. This is an Italian everbearing. This is a new variety for me. Now some of these, like I say, they're just barely coming back. This is the only Brunswick that actually sprouted out of the ground, and it's not really big, but I'll take it. I didn't want to lose my variety. we'll go on up through here, see what else we got. But I didn't have a one fig tree at all that didn't freeze back. And there was no reason, I don't think it was cold enough that it should have. Now, this row here is all, it's a new row that we put in. These were a lot of them we propagated, some from ours and some from that we had purchased cuttings. This is my Italian 258, and it's putting on a bunch of figs, and we're going to see how good that is. This other Italian 258, it's starting to put on figs too. And then another Italian everbearing that's got quite a few figs sitting on it. And these hadn't been in the ground very long, so once they get a good root system down, they ought to really start doing good. I've been having to run the drip quite often because the heat that we've been having here, we've been up into the upper 90s. This is a Ronde Bordeaux, and it's got a fig set there. Now, I don't know. It looks like it's a little darker than I would think it is that young, but we'll see how it goes. Another Ronde Bordeaux, but it's not setting any figs, but I don't think it'll be too long. And another one. And then this is my compost fig. This is one that I really like. And you can see why this cutting has got 5 figs on it. And it's just a little bitty just coming on. And there's some wonderful tasting figs. Now this one doesn't have any, but now that it's in the ground, it's really going to take off. And yeah, most of these were planted yesterday and then some today. My SFA variety, and then a Brooklyn white down here on the end. And then we get over here to this other row. And this row was, I had tilled it, but it grew back up in grass. I never did get it planted. But I've got LSU Gold and then some Emerald Strawberries. These are a lot smaller than the other two, but you know they don't grow all at the same rate. I got this Chicago Hardy here. No fruit yet, but I'm sure it'll be along. And some green Issacas. We've got no, 5 maybe 6 in here. I'm taking my time, try to look for fruit. Now here's some that have grown back. That's an unknown. This one here, I'm going to need to do some weeding around, and hopefully it'll take off. This white Adriatic compared to that little one there, you know, it's just a big difference in the growth. And then up here we got another Italian everbearing, and as you can see, it's starting to set little fruit on it there, so it won't be long, it'll have some. Now this row over here was another new row that was put in, and we planted these today. I just finished this row up. We've got a bunch of brown turkeys here. And then we've got a couple of black missions. I'm waiting for figs to start on these because I really want to see them. And then there's a black Madeira KK, and hopefully it'll survive. It's in there. It is getting water. Now these other rows. These are all from last year, and there was only 2 of these fig trees that I had to replace, and these were all put in kind of early. We'll start up here at the top. Some of them coming back are just barely. That one's not getting too excited. This SFA here, you can see it was up here last year. In fact, it had a couple of runners. It is coming, but it's really slow to come on. And another one, and these black missions here, the ones that come back, they're doing good. They don't seem to be getting ready to set fruit just yet. I got to come in and cut these old piece of wood out, but I was more interested in getting my trees back to growing and get the ones in the ground, so they'd be a whole lot stabler. It's easier for me to just turn the water on. But no fruit yet. I'm sure it won't be long. This Marcellus Black VS it's got fruit sitting on it. I think that was some tasty stuff. And this Marcellus Black, it's small, but it's setting some fruit in there. I have a little Desert King. Hopefully it'll be all right. And this one here's coming back too. It's got a ways to go. But they're both doing better than this little one that's just barely peeking out. And let's see what we got hiding over here. This is a Canadria. It's doing good. It may be setting some fruit fairly soon. We'll see. And then a little Texas Everbearing on the end. Now, these did really good last year. These Genos, I did get a couple of figs off them. Hopefully they'll come back. You can see there's a fig right down there. So, and there's one down on this side down here too that's kind of hanging on there. So I'll probably get to taste some of those. Another Black Madeira KK. And this Black Madeira KK, we just finished getting this in today, and this Chicago Hardy that was replaced. We have another Chicago Hardy, another one. This one here actually has some little figs on it there, so you'll probably get a taste. Now over here, these white flowers that you can see, we have this row. These are elderberries. They didn't do too good last year, but I didn't really take care of them like I should have. We got an LSU purple there. Another one here. These are small. No sign of fruit yet on any of them, but hopefully won't be long. It's Texas Everbearing. It's not looking real good, but we got it in the ground and we're going to leave it. This Texas Everbearing here is just now starting to put little figs on. This is pretty late in the season. Normally we would see a whole lot more activity, but of course normally we wouldn't have to wait for them to grow all the way back from the root stock. And that's one reason why I don't care if you're even in warmer climates. Now these here are my compost figs, and if you ever hear me talk about figs, this is one of my favorites. I'll have to identify it this year to know what variety it actually is. But those of you that are in warmer climates that want to go ahead and graft figs, well, if you don't watch them, they're going to come right back up from whatever rootstock they had. So you need to be aware of it. But anyway, I'm going to take a count here and see just how many I got in the ground now. Okay, I counted them all up. And out here in our little fig orchard, there are 102 fig trees so far. And I imagine there might be a few more before the end of the year. Hopefully I won't get carried away. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this update. And if you want to see more and you ain't subscribed to the channel, well, just hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, and select all so you'll make sure you'll be notified. And of course, give it a big thumbs up and share this video. And as always, enjoy that gardening experience.